Hi again, everyone. Hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourself and being good to yourself. My surgery is scheduled. I will be going in on the morning of July 18th. Yeah, it's coming up. So before that, I also have an appointment, another clinic consult with my surgeon on Tuesday, and then I'll have an appointment with the anesthesiologist, and then I'll have an appointment, like a head-to-toe checkup thing. Tuesday's appointment is going to go over absolutely everything, all the nuts and gears of everything that is involved with this surgery, and I know that because I've been through this before. Anyway, as I talked about in my last video, my brain surgery is going to involve separating a vessel on the aneurysm and reattaching it to another vessel on the other side of the aneurysm, which is essentially a bypass. This allows the blood flow to continue to where it needs to go, and then the aneurysm is clipped. And hopefully it all goes well, and I come out of this without any deficits or disabilities, and everything functions as it did before. But I will tell you the risks again too. A stroke is possible during surgery, and this is because they have to stop the blood flow of these vessels while they sew them together. When blood flow stops going where it's supposed to be, that's dangerous, and that's when a stroke occurs. If blood flow is cut off for too long and a stroke happens, that's when the brain responds by saying, oh, I guess you really weren't using this part of your brain because you stopped watering it, so now I'm going to shut it down for a while, maybe forever. You didn't really like having the ability to speak, right? I mean, this is a real possibility. These vessels also feed the motor functions of the right side of my body. So the brain could also double down and say, oh, since you're neglecting to water this gray matter, I'm going to assume that you don't want to use your right arm or hand anymore. And for an added bonus, I'll take away most of the mobility and strength of your right leg, too. You know, like you knew the rules when you hired this quack to slice open your brain. I'm just kidding. My surgeon really isn't a quack, far from it. But he's not God or master of the universe, although that would be cool. So these are the risks that I'm facing. And yeah, with that said, what is someone supposed to do with that kind of information? I mean, seriously, have you ever considered what it would be like to lose part of who you are? Like the things that make you function in everyday normal life? I mean, we see we see people with disabilities every single day as we go through life. And some are more severe than others. And some simply look like they make their life a little challenging or frustrating, right? Some force people to just go slower in life. But either way, there's many of us who would wonder what we would do if that were to happen to us. You know, it's a fleeting thought, really, because we don't want to dwell on something like that. Maybe some of you have even said a little prayer or a blessing or given thanks to whatever is out there that you believe in. And that's important too. But sadly, this is something that I've thought a lot about in my life, and I don't know why. We all have fears and obsessions and overthink certain unknowns and possibilities. But it does help you put the idea of what life is into your own perspective and construct your own priorities. These priorities form what we value in life, what makes it worth living. And my point is not to get all philosophical about this, but I almost don't have a choice. You know, I'm smack in the center of these possibilities. And sidebar, I do not mean to dismiss or devalue any of those who have had an aneurysm rupture or other disability and survived and are now living with that, those deficits and those struggles in their daily lives. That's not my intention. So I know that I'm lucky in that respect. Mine has not ruptured, and I have the opportunity of fixing it. But again, I also have this deeply introspective time to consider all this crap and all the what ifs. And, you know, it really sucks. And before any of this even happened, I was already experiencing a textbook version of an existential crisis, you know? And it's a cliche. I get that. But it's hard to find any other way to describe it to people. You know, what I was going through, what am I doing here? What is my purpose? What's going on with my life? Because it had so many changes. And I decided to stop trying to describe it to people, because people either didn't understand or they didn't care. But that's okay, because it's mine. It's my stuff. And I don't want to go into a whole sob story about all the events that led up to that. But the nutshell version is the experience that I had was of really heavy, great losses, confusion, contemplation, and despair, and overall just being lost. I was working through it. I was making some, mini breakthroughs, doing as much self-care as I could manage, but I was still really struggling in my soul. It was like it had been chewed up and put back together wrong. And every day I could never figure out what was going on. It's been a really rough couple of years, and I can't really explain it, but, I'm still here and I'm still trying. But, the universe had yet another plan. This new aneurysm. And, I guess my whole point with this is that I think about it all the time. It really sucks up a lot of my energy. I walk around and do my everyday normal shit, and then it's like an imaginary light switch pops into my head. I could literally be walking around, being myself, all the things I'm used to about myself and who I am, driving around, working, reading, drawing, walking the dogs, and then within just one day, all of that could change. I mean, I could come out of this having lost the function to do so many of the things I love, especially with my hand and my arm. I don't know if I would mind the speech part too much. I think I could relearn that with the proper PT, and maybe this is the universe's way of telling me to hush up. But I know it seems like I'm obsessed with this and thinking about the worst outcomes. And I'm like in this defeatist mind frame. But I swear, I dare any one of you not to think about these possibilities if you were faced with the same problem. Or even if, someone you loved, your child was faced with the same problem. Because I can't tell that I have an aneurysm. I can walk around all day long, everything's fine. People don't know that you don't show any symptoms. So it's just a very weird switch to think about. And I hate it. I genuinely hate thinking about it like this and feeling these abysmal emotions. I'm trying really hard to have faith that it's going to be okay. However, as I mentioned, I was already in a state of kind of flux and unknowing and basically a mental crisis. It's super challenging to try to switch gears so that you can think positively. But here's something else that I think about too. I'm not a complete dark soul. Last time I wanted my surgeon to insert like a cool microchip in my brain during surgery. I was like, hey, buddy, while you're in there, can you give me like a computer chip or something that'll, give me the ability to automatically play the piano or make me speak French, learn French, or something, or communicate with animals or something like that, that would be cool. But, apparently they don't do that. But honestly, here's my thing. I think that if we have surgery, we should be given the option to have a GPS chip implanted into our brain or somewhere in our body if we wanted. That way, if I ever get abducted, or, if I have amnesia or something and I get lost, then, they can activate the GPS and find me immediately. Find my iPhone. Find my sister. I don't think that there's anything wrong or unethical with that. Especially if you make the choice. Especially if you're the one that's saying it's okay. Hey, you know what? If I get abducted and you don't know where I am, you'll be rethinking that. Mark my words. But seriously, on a metaphysical level, if this thing is happening for a reason, well, okay, sidebar, I hate that cliche too, because it makes no sense at all. I mean, seriously, everything happens for a reason is complete bullshit. If someone steals my purse and maybe I have to cancel all my credit cards and shit and go buy a new phone, and then maybe I start dating the guy at the AT&T store, the everything that happens for a reason cliche would be applied, right? But it's not true. Okay, you're assigning a reason to an outcome that could easily have been assigned to a different outcome had my purse not been stolen, right? If any other situation came up, really, we can make the tiniest good thing come out of some kind of a crisis or sucky situation and essentially state that. Had it not been for this sucky situation, this tiny stupid good thing might not have happened. I don't know. That's just something it always bugs me when people say that. Because sometimes you're talking about, this awful thing that happened, and you say, well, it happened for a reason. Look what happened afterwards. It's like, yeah, but I would have rather not had that sucky thing happen. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm moving on. So, I am a believer that the universe, my guides, angels, watchers, God, whatever, is guiding me or pushing me in a certain direction for a specific purpose. And it could be something really slight and easy to miss. Or it could be something major, like a brain aneurysm. Maybe I'll come out of this with a superpower. That's happened to people before. People all of a sudden have these abilities to, do complex math problems after brain surgery or brain injury. Or maybe this will just tilt my purpose in life, whatever it is. Maybe it'll just kind of tilt it at a better angle. Maybe my whole life I've just been off a few degrees off my axis. And it could be that this aneurysm thing is happening because I need to be aligned with the universe properly. Anything's possible, I guess. But that's kind of the way that I do want to start thinking about this, at least. The doom and gloom scenarios that play out in my head are wrecking me. It's really not something I want to obsess over. Every day is an exhausting struggle for so many reasons. That light switch could happen on July 18th. It's real. It's too real. Honestly, it makes me want to reconsider. You know, some days I just think, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And that's, you know, I could make that choice at any time. But, you know, I couldn't do that to the people that I love, because they would be just as worried as I was every day, walking around wondering if this thing's gonna take me down. I'm trying hard to shift my perspective, you know, just enough so I can manage each day. You know, I have a lot to do and take care of in the next couple weeks. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and my fears. You know, if you've ever wondered what a person with pending brain surgery thinks about all the livelong day, this is a little window into what I get to imagine as I'm driving around or working or walking or breathing. And that's kind of what I'm up against. That's part of what this is. And I'm trying. So, yeah. Oh, and I have decided to name my aneurysm, because I hate saying aneurysm all the time. So, we've decided to call her Joan. Joan is going to be with me for a couple more weeks, and then we have to say goodbye to her, because she's made my life miserable. If there's any other Joans out there that have made other people's lives miserable, this is what you get. But, you know, if there's some really awesome people named Joan out there too, I apologize, but that's just the name I landed on. Anyway, stay tuned for this week's consultation with my surgeon video, and all the things that are going to happen on surgery day. And yeah, right now you can hear the birds. They're just chattering at me like they do all day, and that's all I've got. So thanks for all your attention and love and support and everything. I really appreciate it. It's what I need. And that's the best you can do for somebody that is struggling with anything. Just ask them, what can I do for you? What do you need? You know, you can't fix people's complex stuff that's going on in their head. But you can ask them, what can I do for you? And sometimes there's just nothing. And maybe they'll say that. There's nothing you can do. I just need you to listen to me. Vent, yell, scream, cry, whatever. So yeah, go take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Go for a walk. Hug your dog, kids. Draw, doodle, breathe, whatever. And sleep. Please be sure to sleep. I realize that that's a big important thing. Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Love you all. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Check back for updates, because there's going to be a lot more to see. Laters!